Pumpkin, it's Chef Jason Morse, your Ace Hardware Grill Expert, and we're hanging out here again today at my local Ace Hardware. Hey, and we're getting ready for Halloween. That's right, it's time to teach the kids how to carve those pumpkins, but most importantly, it's time to harvest those pumpkin guts, rinse off the seeds, and make some wicked cool pumpkin seeds on our Traeger grills today. That's right, so we've got a cool recipe for you today for some smoked pumpkin seeds available at acehardware.com. So go to acehardware.com, click on the tips and advice tab, and up in that search bar, type in recipes. You will find this recipe and a whole lot more. We've got tons of content there ready to make you a legend in the backyard cooking circuit. So thanks for joining us for this Red Vest approved video. How do you find out when more Red Vest approved videos are ready? Well, hit the subscribe button, type in your email address, and you'll be notified when the next Red Vest video is live and ready for you. And also, if you have any questions or comments, or there's anything you'd like to see, let us know in the comment section below what we can do to be more helpful with your barbecuing and grilling adventures. But I definitely think it's time to get rolling, so let's get cooking. Do a little bit of our food flyover and talk about some of the ingredients and some of the tools we're going to need today to make these pumpkin seeds shine, right? First thing we're going to need is something to carve the pumpkin with, right? We need to scoop the guts out. We need to get it carved. These are great little kits that we sell at your local Ace Hardware. But hey, if you're thinking this is adult fun and you're going to do this at home, choose your weapons wisely. We've got a scimitar. We've got a serrated knife. What I love about the serrated knife, very easy to carve around that top side and easier to control this than some of the straighter knives. And then when it comes to the fine details, I use a nice little boning knife like this to get in there. But I'll tell you what, maybe you don't want to carve. Maybe you just want to cut the top out, scoop the guts out, and have something fun. Well, I'll tell you what, these little faces that we sell work great as well. You just stick them on the front here, get your pumpkin all decorated, scoop the seeds out, and you are ready to go. We're going to need some rubs, and we're going to start with a little bit of our oink rub today, right? We want to have some oink to get these guys flavored up and seasoned nicely. And again, you're going to use as much or as little as you want. So we've got oink. That's going to give it that maple bacon brown sugar profile. We've got rub-a-dub. If you want to use a little rub-a-dub, that's going to give you that classic salt, pepper finish to them as well. Hey, Bayou Dust, if you want to kick it up just a tiny bit and give these guys some wow flavor, that's going to give you some break flavor and a touch of heat. And I'll tell you what, brand new is our Tiki Tiki. So you want a little taste of the islands on your pumpkin seeds, that's definitely what you need there. And then we need just a tiny bit of oil. Not a lot. We're going to use just enough to coat it so that we don't have greasy pumpkin seeds, but just enough to coat, just enough to have fun. So this is kind of everything. This is our food flyover. Hey, next up, we're going to show you how to preheat the Traeger, get the Traeger ready for these pumpkin seeds, and then when we come back, it's carving time. Fun little gear that we're using today is our Kingsford Fish and Veggie Griller. And you may be thinking, fish and veggie griller for pumpkin seeds, why? Well, I'll tell you what, we've got a vegetable pan like this as well, but the holes in the veggie pan are a little too wide. What I like about the fish and veggie griller, nice small holes in there. I don't have to worry about any seeds falling through and into my Traeger. So the Kingsford Fish and Veggie Pan works great. I'm also going to use a couple of these disposable aluminum pans. I'll harvest the guts, I'll put all the pumpkin seeds in here and everything, and I'll also use this to wash my pumpkin seeds out and get them seasoned and ready for the Traeger as well. So always fun gear to go along with our cooking projects. Look at these guys here. These are the Reserve Blend pellets that are exclusive to Ace Hardware. That's right, at your local Ace Hardware. Now, thanks to your friends at Traeger, you will find these Reserve Blend pellets. They're a nice blend of oak, cherry, and apple. They do a fantastic job adding some really good flavor to the things we cook every day. Today, we're using them on our smoked pumpkin seeds. So what we're going to do first, we already topped off our hopper. We're going to go ahead and close that, and we're going to turn our Traeger on to 180 and start getting ready, because the first 20 minutes of these pumpkin seeds is all about the smoke. And those Reserve pellets, I adore. They give these things amazing flavor. So we've got the Traeger prepped and ready to go. Let's do this. When it comes to carving pumpkins, the first step I always do is I just give my pumpkin a light wash. I want to make sure there's no dirt on here. Because I'm going to eat the pumpkin seeds, I want to make sure I'm not bringing any dirt inside the pumpkin when it comes time to carve. Definitely, kids, if you're getting ready to carve a pumpkin, this is something you need to get your parents involved with. And parents, be super careful when it comes to cutting pumpkins, knowing where your hand is, knowing where your knife is. One of the things I like to do in my top of my pumpkin is I like to make a big enough hole so that I've got some space to take this off, to get my hands in there, to get all the pumpkin seeds out. But then what I also do is I like to make a notch, right, so I know how the lid goes back on, so to speak, and I'm set to go. So basically we're just going to cut around this very carefully, and I'm just using a boning knife. All right, we'll get around the top here, and it looks like we are done. Then The first thing I do when I pull this off is I just go through and I cut that and I let that go back into the pumpkin. And now check it out. I've got a cool little notch in here that fits right back one way and one way only. So that's kind of how we do that. And then look at that, full of guts. That is all the things we are looking to scoop out of here. So we're going to reset here and give you a little into the pumpkin view, and we'll start harvesting our pumpkin guts here in just a minute. We have our trusty little spoon, right? And we're going to start using this to get in there and really get these seeds scooped out of there. So kind of what I do in just little piles is I get in there and I start scooping out the fibrous part, and I get the seeds out as well. And this will take you just a few minutes, but the goal of this is right here. This is what we want. Look at that, pumpkin guts and pumpkin seeds. So what we'll do then is we'll go through here and separate the seeds off. We'll give the seeds a nice wash. We'll let them dry for a minute. That helps it take a little bit better seasoning, but there you have it. That is beautiful. But hey, let's say you want to roast your pumpkin as well. Well, I got a cool tip for you. I'll show you that when we get rolling here on roasting our pumpkin seeds. But guess what? This pumpkin can also be roasted and help you make a really nice squash casserole. So we'll get back in here and get these seeds going. That's a lot of seeds. Seeds have been taken out of here. I'm going to go ahead and put the cover back on and close my pumpkin up, and then I'll set my pumpkin to the side so that now my focus is 100% on the pumpkin seeds. We're going to go ahead now and just kind of slowly go through here, pick out some of the pulp, pick out some of the, so to speak, guts, make sure we don't have any big pieces, and we'll get our seeds over to the seasoning side. Actually, this is going to become our little wash basin next, but take your time, go through here, make sure you get all those seeds pulled off and separated. It will definitely pay off in the end, and you'll have some delicious pumpkin seeds. We're going to grab a brand new clean kitchen towel. The seeds have already been stripped of all their guts, right? All we've got left is just the pumpkin seeds. We added some water in here. We're going to go ahead and mix these guys up a little bit. Just trying to clean them a tiny bit and get them all ready to go. And then we're going to transfer them over to our kitchen towel here on the side and make sure that we are set to go. We want them to dry just a little bit. Why? Well, guess what? Oil and water doesn't mix. So the drier we can get these, the better off they are going to take a little bit of oil and take a little bit of seasoning as well. How many servings you get out of an average pumpkin? I would say we're probably going to get 8 to 10 servings of pumpkin seeds out of this pumpkin that we have. And of course that depends if you are a pumpkin seed fanatic or if you are sitting at home watching the football game. Hey, and then if you see any little bits of residual guts in there, pull those guys out. Don't worry about it too much. But that's pretty much it. We're going to go ahead and finish drying off the rest of these guys. We'll get them all set up. The next step for us really is going to be to season these. We have the Traeger preheated. We have our Reserve Blend pellets ready to add some wicked good flavor into these guys. So we'll finish cleaning these up and get ready to get them seasoned and into the Traeger. Well, now what I do is I go ahead and wrap them up in my towel a little bit and just kind of squish them around to help them dry out. And then I open up the towel and shake them out of there, and we are set to go. Pretty simple, pretty easy, right? That is how we get the start of our pumpkin seeds. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and add a little bit of oink rub, right there, and we're going to add a little bit of oil. Hey, the trick with oil is, my tip for you, just enough oil to coat. So we're probably looking at about 2 tablespoons of oil total, nothing more. We don't want to start a huge oil drip fest going on in there. We want it to be just nice and easy and enough to coat, like I said. Then we'll go ahead and add a little bit of our oink rub in here, and we're going to start with just a couple tablespoons. Again, on seasoning, hey, do as much or as little as you like. We're going to go ahead and add that in, and what the oil will do then is help the seasoning kind of bloom and kind of bleed into these pumpkin seeds just a little bit here. So we're going to mix them up and let them sit. And we may let them sit with some rub on them for, I don't know, maybe 5 minutes or so just to get the flavor going. And I'm actually going to add a little bit more. I like my pumpkin seeds to be pretty well seasoned, so we're going to add those right there. That is perfect. Now, we're going to go ahead and put them onto our pan. Like I said before, we're using that fish pan, fish griller, because there's no holes in the bottom. That will allow these guys to fall through. So spread them in a nice thin layer like that. Pretty quick and painless, right? We'll get these into the Traeger next, and we'll show you how that smoke is going to help for the next 20 minutes build a really good flavor base. Once again, we have our temperature set at 180 degrees. You can see that smoke coming out of that chimney. That's what we want. We're going to smoke these for 20 minutes in the beginning, just to get a really nice smoke flavor in there. One of the things to be aware of is, hey, these guys may change color just a little bit, but that's okay. That's from the smoking process. So between the smoking and the roasting, you should have a really nice golden color to these. So, hey, we have it all set. We're ready to go. We're going to shut that, and again, let it smoke for 20 minutes at 180 degrees. 20 minutes are up. Let's take a look at that. That's beautiful. That's the smoke we were looking for. Like I said, we're going to smoke it for 20 minutes like we did. Now we're going to shut the lid, and we're going to turn our Traeger up to 350. Now we're going to go another 20 minutes or as long as we need to get the desired color that we're looking for. Usually 20, 25 minutes tops gets it about right where I want it. So we'll let those guys go, and we'll come back in about 10 minutes or so and take a look at them. Well, maybe you're thinking, you know what, we're not going to carve a pumpkin. We are going to enjoy the pumpkin seeds. We've got this all cleaned out. But now you want to roast it because you're thinking, hey, maybe a little squash casserole, maybe a little pumpkin soup, something fun, maybe a little pumpkin puree. What I like to do on these guys, once again, I'll scoop the seeds out, scoop all the guts out, and then split it in half horizontally so that I have 2 half pumpkins. What I do then is open it up. I'll drizzle a little bit of oil in there, rub that in, season both sides, and then preheat the Traeger to 350. I'll flip the pumpkins upside down in the Traeger, and what's cool about that is all that heat and steam goes up into the dome of the pumpkin and stays in there, so it cooks it a little bit faster. You're talking about an hour to an hour and 20 minutes at 350 degrees. How do I know when it's done? I'm going to push on these with my thumb, and when my thumb starts to push in, and I know it's done, it's going to be nice and soft. My thumb will push into the pumpkin, and it's finished. What I'll do then is use some towels. I'll take them off. I'll set them right onto a cookie sheet and let them cool, again, dome side up so that that flesh side is down there. What happens then is that residual heat helps finish your pumpkin off, and then you can do what you want, whether it's shred it or puree it or use it in a squash casserole. But just another fun way to do something different with the pumpkin besides carving it. And we have that recipe for you on acehardware.com as well. That's called squash casserole. We are about 10 minutes into that 20-minute roasting process. What I'm going to do now is just give them a quick little stir. I want to make sure nothing's burned. You can shake them as well, but we're going to let them go again. So like I said, we're 10 minutes in, about halfway there. We're going to let these guys smoke for about a total of about 20 minutes. So we have 10 minutes to go. Time's up. We're at 20 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and pull these guys off. These are perfect. This is what I'm looking for. I have a beautiful red color coming from that oink rub. I've got a nice toast to these guys. Definitely a great job. So we're going to pull these off. We'll let them cool for just a minute on our cutting board, and then when we're done, we're ready to get these guys bagged and ready to eat them. Well, there you have it. Another Red Vest approved video is in the can. We are set and ready to go. And as always, let us know in the comment section below what you'd like to see next or what we can help you with on our next Red Vest approved video. We enjoy hanging out with you. Thanks so much for taking your time to watch our videos. Be sure to head over to acehardware.com. Go to the tips and advice tab. In the search bar, type in recipes. You can find this recipe and a lot more. And make sure your friends and family know. Subscribe to the Ace Hardware YouTube channel. Click on the little subscribe. Put in your email address. You will be notified when the next Red Vest video is approved and ready to rock and roll. Hey, happy cooking. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Chef Jason Morris, your Ace Hardware Grill Expert.